What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. We're going to get ready to get started in just a bit. We're going to start our draft previews by position. And as y'all can see on the graphic, we're talking quarterbacks. We're going to look at quarterbacks going into this draft. And I have my top five. I have my honorable mention, and y'all are gonna notice there's a quarterback that is not showing on this graphic that I will not do a lot of mentioning of because I'm just not a fan of this particular guy. So as more of you go ahead and pour in, make sure share this show out. I'm doing the same thing. I thank y'all for being patient. We're definitely going to get started in just a few minutes. And we're going to have a very good conversation. Also, some AJ rumors have come out again, this week, but we're going to basically put that we're basically going to put those we're going to put those rumors to sleep. We're going to put those rumors to sleep, and we're going to go forward. Some other NFL news have come out that will affect one AJ Brown as far as him getting paid, but we are definitely going to talk about that. So again, make sure you share this show out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we're going to get ready to get started in less than 60 seconds. Okay, just making sure everybody can hear me and make sure everybody can feel me on everything. Just trying to make sure a few things are good, so y'all forgive me on that. I see trying to make sure. Evening. Let's see. Okay. Can everybody hear me good? Let me make sure y'all give me a thumbs up or let me know if y'all can hear me good, because I'm just trying to make sure my sound is all right. Okay. Just trying to make sure of everything. Okay. All right. We're going to try to get this started again. Give me about 60 seconds, y'all. We're going to get started. Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody? Oh, yeah. All right. Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody doing? Welcome into Titans and Truth. I'm your man Chris, aka Blue Enforcer, and we are gonna have a very fun episode for you on this evening. But definitely, first thing you could do, please do make sure you share this show out. As you can see, all the channels on the ticker. If you haven't followed all these channels, make sure y'all go ahead and follow those. Of course, it's the Titans and Truth official page. Also, make sure you follow the fan page TNT Enforcers, also on Instagram at Titans_N_truth, on Twitter at TNT Blue Enforcer, and also if you like, definitely throw me a super chat. I definitely appreciate those as well. You're helping me and helping me keep this show going, and definitely helps to make sure that we bring you the very best content on YouTube. So thank y'all for making Titans of Truth the best watch, the best show on YouTube. So definitely make sure y'all share that show out, and we're gonna get ready to get started in just a few seconds. And again, also if you need some TNT swag like what I have on, definitely check out. You can contact me on any of the pages at the bottom. Also, you could get with Miss Latoya by her email at queenbutterflytees@gmail.com, on Instagram at queenbutterflytees. Also, that is her name on Facebook as well. So you can definitely get with her. Just tell her that tell her that Blue Enforcer Chris sent you from Titans and Truth, and that way she'll know it was from me and everything. So definitely do that. Also, if you want a nice hat like the one that I have on, showing here in the graphic, hit me up or hit my guy up at Out the Crib Customs. That's on Instagram at out_the_crib_customs, and definitely try to get some TNT swag as we move closer to the NFL draft, and we know that's going to be a big show as always, as of course I do plan on broadcasting live from the NFL draft. Of course, I'll probably be more so on my phone than on my laptop, but I will be at the draft, giving my thoughts on picks as they come in, and giving my thoughts, seeing were they good picks for certain teams or not, and what do the Titans do as well. So I will definitely be at the draft. Definitely looking forward to that, and I thank everybody for tuning in. Let's see. But I see we got everybody in here. I see we got some new people in here. Atlanta Untapped. What's good? Welcome in. My guy CJ, what's up? Drumstar. Chris Frazier. I know he's the Tanneville lover. Steven. My guy, Telio Kicks. Like I said, gotta kick it with you in Vegas. Brandon, what's up, my guy? AZ Mick, what's up? So what's up, everybody? Make sure y'all go ahead and share this show out and get some more people in here. Atlanta Untapped, pass this out to the Titans fan group of Atlanta. Make sure that they know what's going on so they can come on in too and be a part of the show, because I don't want to violate, anything as far as sharing some stuff out to certain groups, because some groups don't like it sharing stuff out, so they think that it's publicity and all that when it's not. So I try to work past that and see if people are okay. So I definitely try to do that. So I mean, hey, look, Zach, yeah, he's a Titan fan. He just representing Atlanta. So and then shout out to 615 Podcast. I'm gonna be on his show. I believe on Monday. We're gonna be talking wide receivers and stuff like that. So definitely give him a listen on the 615 Podcast, and you won't regret that either. He puts out some very good content and stuff like that. So again, everybody, thank y'all for tuning in. We're gonna have a very good time on this show. But let's get started with some news. And earlier this morning, it came out from Adam Schefter. The Bills and Stephon Diggs agreed to a 4-year, $104 million contract extension, $70 million guaranteed, which will have him locked, I believe, through 2027. And he had 2 years left on his current deal and has now got extended. So now he's getting major pay. Basically, it's a 6-year, $124 million deal, which comes out to about $26 million a year, 26 and a half for Stephon Diggs. And so, I mean, Stephon Diggs is one of the best receivers in the league and has been for some time. And, definitely is, I mean, he's a legit number one receiver without a shadow of a doubt. But I think the question that's on everybody's mind is, what does that mean for one Arthur Juan Brown? What exactly does that mean for him? And that is the $1 million question, because as you can see, the wide receiver market has exploded. You've seen Tyreek Hill getting $30 million a year, traded from Kansas City to Miami. You're seeing Davante Adams getting around $28 million, traded to the Raiders, and everything. Now Diggs is getting $26 million. And so right now that number keeps going up for one A.J. Brown. And first thing is, let's put these rumors to rest. You had the rumors out about, A.J. Brown, that the Jets are trying to look at him, and the Cowboys, are looking like they're trying to, sneak in there and talk about A.J. Brown as well. I've been seeing that. But mostly it's been this report from Rich Cimini from ESPN. He's the beat writer for the Jets, basically trying to stir up some clickbait, trying to say A.J. Brown is the name to watch. But take a look at this tweet from one Diana Rossini, who comes out and says this. Diana Rossini: the Tennessee Titans are not shopping or taking calls on A.J. Brown per sources. John Robinson made it clear at the owners' meetings they are currently working towards keeping Brown a Titan for the long term. I'm told this has not changed. And I tend to agree with Diana Rossini. Diana Rossini, very well connected. I give her a little bit more credibility and everything. So if, I kind of tend to go with her, similar to what I would do with, Ian Rappaport, TD, and some of these guys. The fact of the matter is, the Titans ain't trading A.J. Brown. It's not going to happen. And I'm glad for it. Yeah, I understand. They were talking about, the Jet fans are wanting A.J. Brown and stuff, and saying that the 10th overall pick would be the centerpiece of the deal. And I'm thinking like this. And I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, and I'm saying just spitballing here, if the Titans were to trade A.J. Brown to the Jets, I need a king's ransom. I would be greedy. If it was me, I would be so greedy. The Jets talk about just offering the 10th overall pick. I'm like, you saw the deal for Tyreek Hill? You saw the deal for Davante Adams? Need something like that. Because I would be like, Jets, don't y'all have, forget just one number one pick, don't y'all have 2 first-round picks? I'd be like, honestly enough, I'd have been like, there's only 2 ways to go that I would even consider answering the phone. Either you're going to give up 4 and 10 and maybe one of your seconds and a first next year. If you're not willing, if you're going to only give up one of your first, I would say you give me 10, you give me 35 and 38, a number 1 next year, and a number 2 next year. Then maybe I would have been like, okay, I'll pick up the phone and listen. Or it would have had to been 4-10, 35, or 38, because I honestly would have said both. And at least the number one next year. Or for the next couple of years. But I honestly would have been like, give me both your ones, both of your twos, your number one next year, and your number two next year. Anything less than that, I'm hanging up the phone right away. We can't talk. I'm about to pay AJ Brown 20 some odd $1 million a year. You're going to have to give me a little bit more than just one first round pick. I'm sorry. So I would get greedy if it were me. I would get greedy and I would be like, if the Jets want AJ Brown so bad that they keep putting out this crap of reports, I'm like, okay, I'm going to milk them for everything they got. I'm going to milk them for both of their first rounders and maybe 1 or 2 more years of number ones, get another year number twos, and see if I can get maybe a 4th or 5th rounder in this year's draft as well. I would just be greedy. And that's just how I am. And I see Steven says, pressure to re-sign AJ keeps on building. And that's true. That is true. I'll be so glad when the AJ Brown talk died out. Well, the sooner they re-sign him, the pressure is on. No lie about that. CJ saying, get some business elsewhere. Get some business elsewhere. I get it. But at the same time, the pressure is on. J-Rob needs to get a deal done because the longer you wait, the bigger the price it's going to get. Because you still got DK Metcalf and Deebo Samuel looking for deals too. And right now, you're looking at a number between 20 and maybe 26 million. And honestly, Zach and Austin discussed this earlier, what would be their number. I believe Austin said maybe around 22. 22. I know Zach said 23. I said 24. I'm thinking 24. 24 million is about where I would go for AJ, at least where the market is telling me. Now, I would try to make sure there's some things in there for incentives, like injury, getting through a year, because he is injury prone. He's only had one full season that he completed all 16 games. All the rest of the years, he's had some type of injury that he's had to deal with. So, the floor is 20 million. That's the starting point. You go under 20 million, like 17 or 18, AJ Brown gonna look at you funny. He gonna look at you funny. And so that's what I would do. About 24 million. I would say 5 years. I'm gonna go 5 years, 115 million. I'm gonna say 5 years, 115 million. I would probably guarantee, I'm going to say 60 million guaranteed. 60 million guaranteed. That way, it comes out to about 23 million. It comes out to about 23 million a year. And you could throw in some incentives as far as injury and things like that. But if you're going to pay AJ Brown this kind of money, the Titans better start throwing the ball a hell of a lot more than they do. AJ Brown can't be just getting right at 100 targets or 80 targets. He's going to have to be up there like 110, 115 targets and needs to catch about, I'd say, 75 balls at minimum. Needs to be about 80 to 90 balls a year he needs to come down with. So if the Titans going to pay him that kind of money, they better be able to throw the ball a whole heck of a lot more. And see, Ian said, J-Rob is under pressure to get a deal done. I agree. Pay that man 20 plus million. They're going to have to. See, Brandon said, "Are we going to open the offense to pay him $20 million, and he has to play a full season?" Again, I'm with you. There's got to be some injury incentives in that contract because he hasn't played a full season since his rookie year. Now, he's been, more available. He tends to try to play through his injuries. He's tough. I give him that. But as they always say, the best ability is availability. And you got to be available on that. Drumstar says 5 years, 110. And if you do 5 years, 110, that's 22. So I'll be like 5 for 115, that's 23 a year. Paulie D said, yeah, AJ will most likely get 23 to 24 million. I agree. Pay that dude. And a lot of people are thinking like King Isaac. If AJ leave, I'm going to sue J-Rob. And I don't think, and AJ Brown's not going anywhere. They are committed to him. He wants to be here for the long term. And I know a lot of people are thinking, well, there's no way you're going to be able to keep AJ and Big Jeff. Yes, you can. You can pay AJ. You can get AJ taken care of. He has one more left on this deal, and then he has the new deal. So you already have AJ taken care of, and you have the 5th-year option in May you could pick up on Jeff, and that's around $10 million. They're going to pick that up, and so you get 2 more years with Jeff before you really have to sign him. Maybe next offseason, that's where you get Big Jeff taken care of. But you pick up that 5th-year option, and then next offseason, Big Jeff gets paid. Big Jeff gets paid. Tannehill's going to come off the books unless something miraculous happens. So, yeah, CJ, you're right. He's had, now, the caveat, even though he hasn't played a full season, he had, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons and everything. So, AJ is a baller. AJ is a baller. No doubt about it. This, 3 out of his first 3 years, and this is going into his 4th year, out of 3 years, he's had 2 1,000-yard seasons. Last year was the first time he did not reach 1,000 yards, and he only had 869, and I believe only played in he only played in 12 games, if I'm not mistaken. So he missed some games, had 105 targets, missed some games, but still produced. He played 13 games and had 869 yards. Think of what would happen if he played 15 games. He would have had over 1,000 yards again. So, and Paulie D is right. The cap is just going to continue to go up. It's going to go up. So, we're going to be able to pay him. So, A.J. Brown, I believe, is not going anywhere. We could put all these stupid trade rumors from the Jets and Cowboys and all that. Put that to sleep right now. But here's another question, and I asked this last week. Could the Titans draft the quarterback at 26? And the reason why I asked this question is because the draft is a little bit over 3 weeks away. And with the draft being 3 weeks away, where could the Titans go at quarterback if they decide to do so? And a long time ago, about maybe 4 or 5 months ago, you would have thought, quarterback in the first round? We got Tannehill. Why do we need a quarterback? But after that playoff game back in January, you're like, yeah, maybe quarterback is something to consider. That's something we might have to discuss. And so this is why I begin our first of 4 position breakdowns. I'm going to have a position breakdown every week for the next for the next 3 weeks. This week we're talking quarterbacks. Next week we're going to be talking wide receivers. 2 weeks from now we're going to talk offensive line. We'll talk wide receivers, and we'll even talk tight ends. May even try to talk some tight ends as well. So we're definitely going to talk quarterbacks this week, wide receivers and tight ends next week, offensive line, and then, of course, right before the draft, we'll probably talk miscellaneous. What other positions could they possibly fill? Like corner. A backup running back could be in store as well. So we're going to go into previewing the quarterbacks. We're going to take a look at some of these quarterbacks and what do they have to offer? What do I like and don't like? And just giving kind of my top 5. I have an honorable mention, and I have somebody that I'm completely out on. And while I pull up that information, again, I want y'all to answer this question about our previous conversation. Yes or no, does AJ get an extension done before the season? I say yes. He will get it done. But I want y'all to answer that question. And before we start talking about quarterbacks, I want to throw this out here. And I'm want to talk to you guys about taxes. Taxes are coming up. Y'all know that it is that time. The deadline, April 18th, is coming up very, very soon. And if you're looking at taxes, go with Continental Source Tax Consultants. They are based here in Memphis, but they can work with you if you are outside of Memphis. So definitely check this out with my friend Miss Allison Conley. You could definitely check this out as far as if you want to get your taxes done. You could get in contact with me, or you could get in contact with her. If you want to get in contact with her, her number is 901-654-8435. Also, Ms. Carmen at 901-949-2871. Let them know that Chris of Titans and Truth sent you. In regards to that, they'll help you with your own personal taxes, help you with if you're doing your own business, helping you with that as well. And they'll work with you as far as you have all the documents and everything. You can kind of send it with them, an email and things like that, and they'll be able to work with you on your taxes. So it's not if you just live in Memphis, you could do that. They can do it if you work anywhere, and they'll work with you on your taxes. So if you want to get help on your taxes, definitely contact the people at Continental Source Tax Consultants. Or if you need some more information, you can contact me as well, and I will definitely help you out. Also, because they're who I use for my taxes and everything. So definitely check out Continental Tax Consultants. Again, to reach my friend Miss Allison, her number is 901-654-8435, or Miss Carmen at 901-949-2871. That is Continental Source Tax Consultants. And thank y'all for listening on that. We're back, and we're going to be going into quarterbacks in just a bit. Let's see. Steven says yes. Let's see. A lot of people. CJ says yes, should have already. Devin comes in and says family has a new addition. Let's see. My baby niece was born today. Well, congratulations. Welcome to New Edition. to the world and to the Tighten Up family. So congrats to your family on the birth of the new baby. On that, Tighten Up 9531 talking about Chris Olave. I definitely enjoy that. Jeremy says no. Jeremy, why you don't think they'll get that done before the season starts? Let me know what you think on that. But we're gonna go in and talk about these quarterbacks, and I'm gonna give y'all my top 5, my honorable mention, and somebody I am out on. And here is that list. Here are my top 5 quarterbacks, and I'm gonna break each one of them down as best as I can. And I'm gonna let y'all know right now, I am no expert. I am not the biggest draft guru. I'm not the biggest draft expert in the world. I am trying to learn as far as getting better in doing that, as far as getting better with scouting and watching film and things like that. I'm trying to get better with that. So definitely bear with me when it comes to that. I'm definitely learning and trying to do more and get myself out there in regards to that. And so that's just what I think. And that's what I try to do. But first off, I would say my number 1 quarterback is Kenny Pickett out of Pittsburgh. My number 2 quarterback is Malik Willis from Liberty. Number 3, I really like Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati. Number 4, Matt Corral from Ole Miss. And this was kind of a tough one, but I'm going to go number 5, Bailey Zappi from Western Kentucky. And my honorable mention is Carson Strong. And then as far as Sam Howell is concerned, I'm out on him. I am just not on the Sam Howell train as some other people are. Not that big on Sam Howell at all. But those are my top 5 again. Pickett, Willis, Ridder, Corral, Zappi. Honorable mention, Carson Strong, and I'm just out on Sam Howell. And so let's break down these particular quarterbacks. Before we do that, Mark says AJ will get $25 million for 4 years. So that's about 4 years, $100 million. Jeremy says Titans not ready to spend the money yet on AJ. They want to see if he can stay healthy. Okay, I get it. But we know how J-Rob likes to take a risk on injured players. He's probably trying to get the right number as far as that. He ain't going to get no more than 26. But he'll probably get more than 20. And that's just to be in the conversation. And AJ will probably prove that he is good and is worth the money that we're paying him. And Steven says Malik was one of our top 30 visits. Yes, I did see that. I definitely saw that. Mr. Wrong says perfect year for a quarterback. It has to be the right one. Agreed. It does have to be the right one and has to be somebody that could be a day 1 starter. We better nail our first round pick. And I agree because we have struggled with our first round picks recently. So, that is something that we definitely got to get right. You are correct. But, again, these are the top quarterback prospects that I take a look at. Again, Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder, Matt Corral, Carson Strong, Sam Howell, Bailey Zappi. That could be there for the Titans. Let's start with Kenny Pickett. Of course, from Pittsburgh, 6'3", 220 pounds, threw for 4,300 yards, 42 touchdowns, just 7 interceptions. Had a completion percentage of 67%. Went through and saw his games against Clemson, against Miami, against Tennessee, and against North Carolina. And these are just my thoughts. Again, I am not perfect at scouting. So some of this stuff may be a little repetitive, but I am no expert. Feel free to disagree with me. But when it comes to Kenny Pickett, what I did like, number one, is that he's very experienced. He's been a starter for a couple of years. And he was a senior. Very good arm. He's very accurate. He's pretty accurate with his throws. He's very good on third down. Has some very good leadership qualities. He knows how to lead a team. Has some moxie, has some swag to him a little bit. And, you know, he seemed like he fits that leader role, that quarterback role of, hey, look, we got to make the big plays. And he knows that. And can definitely extend plays with his feet, which is something that I was definitely impressed with as well. So I was definitely impressed with a lot of what he had to offer. And let me see. I'm trying to get something here because I had all my stuff, and here it is. There we go. So a lot of it is like he's definitely accurate, can get the ball out quickly, does have a good release. You know, he extends plays with his feet, still looking to pass and things like that. He lets his wide receiver go get the ball, and he also knows how to go to his go-to guy. On the other side, cons, he's experienced. And the reason why I say that is he's 24 years old. He is the elder statesman of the draft class. So he's already 24 years old. By the time he gets through his first contract, he'll be 28, 29 years old before he signs his second deal. And so he may not have a lot of time in the NFL because he's already a veteran. He's already, you know, pretty old for a quarterback coming into the draft. The one thing that everybody has been talking about, small hands. He has like 8 and maybe 2/3 inch hands or 3/4 inch hands. He has some very small hands. I think a lot of people are making a mountain out of a mole when it comes to that and everything. I mean, even if you have small hands, you still got to be able to make the throws and still. But there has not been a lot of success with guys who have hands that are under 9, under, I believe, 9 inches or something like that. So that could be a problem. He does tend to struggle in cold weather and in rain, especially because he was at the Senior Bowl, and there were some practices where they had cold weather and rain, and he struggled. He struggled big time in those situations. Also, when he's under duress, he tends to think there's pressure when it's not, and he tends to scramble a little bit too early. And a lot of times, if he goes to his right, he's still looking to pass. A lot of times when he scrambles to his left, he tends to look to run. And a lot of times, you know, he's got to learn how to play under center. All of these quarterbacks have got to learn how to play under center. And that's going to be an issue because in college, if he's under center, you know it's a run. You know pretty much 100% time it's a run. He never dropped back from under center. And that's something that will definitely be an issue. And sometimes when you scramble too early, it leads to unnecessary sacks and everything. So that's something that he's going to have to deal with as far as his pocket awareness, knowing, hey, you still have a little bit of time to get rid of the football. So that's some things that he has to work on. But all in all, I like Kenny Pickett. I think he's gone before the Titans pick him at 26 because there's a lot of teams at the top of the draft that does need a quarterback, and that's something that that could be an issue as far as drafting him. Now, some drafts don't have him going to like 18 or 20, and a lot of people think that the Steelers could be that landing spot. Yep. A lot of people said his hands are small. True. Mark Jones said no, pick in his name. Yeah. And, Mr. Wrong says, we're not winning with Tanny. That's true. We're not. We are definitely not going to win with Tanny. I agree with that. Too bad all the teams that have warm weather already have their quarterbacks. Exactly. Miss Mims, how you doing? Hopefully church service was well. Praise the Lord. But these are some of the things I did like and did not like about Kenny Pickett. Number 2, let's look at Malik Willis. Malik, 6 foot, 225 from Liberty. Threw for 2,857 yards, 27 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 62% completion percentage. He also rushed for 878 yards, 13 scores. Now, Malik Willis basically came out of nowhere, very similar to Carson Wentz. Just came out of nowhere, earlier in the year. I think, we were playing a game against Ole Miss and things like that, and that's where he kind of got noticed. So, small school guy, but under Hugh Freeze, I believe, was the coach at Liberty, if I'm not mistaken. But some of the things I did like about him, he definitely has a big arm. He has a very big arm. He can sling it. He's definitely a dual threat. He can run and he can pass. And he definitely does a lot more running. He's very elusive, definitely tries to escape pressure. And, once he gets outside of the pocket, he's going to run. He definitely has a high ceiling. He has upside, and I hate that word upside. I hate it. Hate that word upside, but he does have that. And he does try to go through his progressions when he's passing the ball. He does try to go through his progressions as well. I looked at some games against Syracuse, against Louisiana Lafayette, and against Ole Miss with another certain quarterback. The cons, even though he is very good speed and can run, that's also to his detriment because he does depend too much on his legs. He's still very raw. He still has a lot to learn. He is not ready to start year 1. He is not ready to start year 1. So, sometimes he forces passes that can tend to get picked. His passes could get telegraphed, and defenses can pick up on that. And so he's going to have to cut down the interceptions. And he does have an issue of ball security as well. So, that leads to fumbles. And so when you have a running quarterback like that, ball security can be an issue. And Ms. Mims, you're absolutely right. He did play for Auburn before he transferred. And Steven says, if Titans draft Malik Willis, he's going to be used like the Saints used Taysom Hill. I don't know if that is exactly. I mean, I could see some stuff like that. Maybe some design runs. Maybe some design runs and stuff like that. Or maybe some double passes. Maybe, a little bit of creativity. I could see him getting a few snaps in as far as like some special plays or some reverses with Tannehill, because we know Tannehill used to be a receiver. You could see something like that. I don't think I would definitely mind that, but I think he has a very high ceiling and a lot of upside, but he still has a lot to learn if he's going to be a real good quarterback. And that's just me. And I know a lot of people are, and again, I am not advocating. I need y'all to take a look at me. when I'm doing this, I am not advocating the Titans draft a quarterback in the first round. I'm just saying they're probably thinking about it because I want to say, Pat O'Hara was at Kenny Pickett's pro day. I believe Pat O'Hara was also at Malik Willis's pro day. So again, these guys, they're doing their homework on these quarterbacks. And they brought Malik Willis into Nashville for a private visit. So obviously, if you're a top 30 guy, they are really considering you. And so Malik Willis is definitely being considered for the Tennessee Titans. And if they drafted him, the good thing is he can sit behind Tannehill for a year, learn the offense. We do not have to rush him in right away. He is one guy that the fans are not going to just clamor saying, we want Willis. We want Willis. They're not going to clamor for him because we know he's not ready yet, but has the potential to take over at some point. So that's just what I think when it comes to Malik Willis. Number 3 on this list is Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati. This is the guy, this is the quarterback that has been linked to the Titans the most. And I'm pretty sure it does have a little something to do with the fact that the coach of Cincinnati, Luke Fickell, and Mike Vrabel are best friends. Mike Vrabel and John Robinson were at Cincinnati's pro day, and they were checking out Desmond Ridder in particular. They have a lot of insight on Desmond Ridder already. And so it's really not a lot that they don't know about Desmond Ridder. 6'4", 215, good size, threw for 3,300 yards, 30 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 65% completion. Some things that we like. Again, experienced. He's been a starter for about 2.5 years. Very athletic. He has a very good arm. He's extremely tough, has those leadership capabilities, does have the willingness to run if he has to. He's definitely a student of the game and can learn from his mistakes. And he does tend to tailor his game to Tannehill and to Deshaun Watson. He said that at the Combine. Cons. He does have accuracy issues. He definitely has problems with accuracy and sometimes tends to mess up his throws when he has to go off script or out of the pocket. He doesn't have the greatest pocket awareness in the world, knowing when to get rid of the ball and things like that and to avoid the pressure. He does tend to force passes off of his back foot, and that does lead to turnovers, that leads to overthrows and things like that. And a con is his game is similar to Tannehill. That is a con because we've had Tannehill. Plain and simple. I looked at games against Indy, against Indiana, against Houston, and I did watch a little bit against Alabama. And yes, against Alabama, he has played against good competition. Against like Houston, who was pretty good. Indiana, who was a Big Ten team. He's played against Georgia. He's played against Alabama. Now, he did struggle against Alabama. That much is true. So I agree with Mark Jones. He did struggle against Alabama. That much is a fact. And Steven says the Mike Vrabel connection. Agreed. So, Captain Tripp says, I was at the Bengals game. So was I. And I know a lot of people want wide receiver or offensive line, and I tend to agree with that. But we look at all positions that they definitely need. But I like a lot of things about Ritter's game that I think can pose well in the NFL. But there are some things like the accuracy you're going to have to get better with. Because if you're not accurate, defenses will eat you alive. Throwing off the back foot, we've seen that in the NFL, always bad. And tailoring your game off of Tannehill, probably not the best thing to say. So we're definitely going to see how Desmond Ridder translates in the NFL next year. I do like him. I think, again, he's a guy that can sit behind Tannehill, learn, get some good practice in. The only problem I have is with him being linked to the Titans so much that he's going to be a guy that if Tannehill struggles and is having a bad year, the fans are going to clamor for him to come in. And once you make that change, you can't go back. My next quarterback, Matt Corral. 6'2", 200 pounds from Ole Miss. Nearly 3,350 yards, 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 68% completion percentage. He's another guy that's a dual threat. Not as athletic as Malik Willis, but definitely has some decent speed to him. He can definitely run. He has some nice touches on his passes. He has a very quick release. When he knows where he wants to go with the ball, he has a quick release. He definitely can avoid pressure pretty well, and he is extremely tough. He does not slide. He will take on tacklers, very much so. The cons, size. He's going to have to put on about another 20-some-odd pounds. He's going to have to put on some pounds. He was in an offense that was a one-read type offense. And, it's like play action, one read. We've seen that with Marcus Mariota. If that read is not there, it's like he doesn't know what to do when that one read is not there. And another problem, and that is not good, he has had some injury issues. He dealt with an ankle injury against the Vols, and then, of course, suffered that high ankle sprain in the bowl game. So durability could definitely be an issue with Matt Corral. I looked at his games against Alabama, against Tennessee, and against Auburn, and also the game against Liberty as well, because I was looking at him and Malik Willis. But those are just the things I noticed with Matt Corral. I think he has a very nice ball, but he does only go by one option, one read, and then once that read is not there, he tends to have a problem. So that's why Corral is number 4. Number 5, I have Bailey Zappi of Western Kentucky. This guy set a record-setting year. He's 6'1", 220. He threw for nearly 6,000 yards. That is unheard of. He threw for nearly 6,000 yards, 62 touchdowns. That is not a typo, ladies and gentlemen. 62 touchdowns to just 11 interceptions, and he completed close to 70% of his passes, 69% to be exact. And some things I did like, I did watch him against Appalachian State in the bowl game and against Texas San Antonio in the Conference USA Championship. He played in a pretty air raid offense or West Coast offense, but he was very poised. He seemed in control of the offense. He's definitely a student of the game, very smart with his throws. He has some good timing. He does have a pretty good deep ball, and he does have a little bit of mobility to work with as well. And he is a gunslinger. Like, there's not many throws he's met that he does not like. He's going to throw it. But some cons is He's a gunslinger. He will throw into coverage. If he believes he's going to go for his guy, but even if he's double covered, he's going to still throw it. Again, he has not met a pass he doesn't like. He was in Conference USA, so he did face some low-level competition. And even though he does have some mobility, he's not the best at throwing on the move. He tends to sometimes overthrow or just out of the reach of his receivers sometimes when he's on the move. But Bailey Zappi from Western Kentucky, I mean, he put up some major numbers. He is a guy that I think could be a dark horse to be a pretty good quarterback with time. He's not ready yet either. Besides Pickett, Pickett, maybe a Desmond Ridder or Matt Corral. These are guys that I think could start day one. Malik Willis is not ready to start day one yet. And obviously, Bailey Zappi I don't think he's ready to start day one yet either, but has the potential to be a good receiver. And I see we're having some conversations over other guys. A lot of people saying Tannehill is trash. We'll see about that. Mark Jones obviously is like Chris Frazier, loves some Tannehill. We'll definitely see about that. I don't believe it yet. That remains to be seen. Mark says the quarterbacks in this draft are backups at best. And I'm not disagreeing. This is not a great quarterback class. But there are maybe a couple of guys that could be good. So we're definitely going to see. But last but not least, I'm going to go into Carson Strong. 6'4", 215. Definitely has to build. Threw for over 4,000 yards. 36 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, had the highest completion percentage at 70%. He definitely has an elite arm, has a big-time deep ball, can be very good in rhythm, has some zips on his throws his guys open, and is very much decisive. However, this guy scares me the most out of all the quarterbacks because of one thing. Injury prone. He has had some knee injury issues. He reminds me of Jake Locker 2.0. I would stay away from Carson Strong because I don't know if he'll be able to stay healthy. He is a statue quarterback. He is your typical pocket passing quarterback. Has absolutely zero mobility. He definitely cannot move within the pocket. He's not good on off-script throws. Some short-range accuracy could be an issue. So we definitely got to see about that. He's good on the deep ball. He got a good deep ball, but it's not an accurate deep ball. He's got a cannon for an arm. Doesn't mean it's an accurate cannon either. Ms. Mims, you're talking about C.J. Stroud from Ohio State. He's not eligible for the draft yet. He will be next year. Devin Chess says, could bring in a quarterback from the USFL. I mean, that is possible. It is possible. I don't know if that's going to be the best bet, but that is possible. I could see that. But, yeah, Carson Strong is the one quarterback I would stay away from if I'm the Tennessee Titans. So, again, even though this is not a great draft class of quarterbacks, if y'all had to pick a quarterback, who would you go with? And make sure y'all hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so that way you know when I'm going live. And also make sure you hit that like button. Smash that like button. I need about 40 likes tonight. So help me out, y'all. Help me help you. And of course, super chats are also appreciated as well. But which quarterbacks would you like if the Titans drafted one? And I am not saying you draft one in year one. Sam Howell, I am completely out on. I think he's stiff. I don't think he has a very good arm. Not a lot of mobility. He has some mobility, but he didn't do so well for North Carolina this year. That's why I'm kind of out on Sam Howell. Like I said, Bailey Zappi, I think, is a dark horse that could be a decent quarterback. But Sam Howell, I'm out on. I think I see Mark Jones going with Willis, AZ Mix going with Zappi, Ms. Mims going with Willis. Orlestruck, what's up? Tighten up. Again, my top 5 quarterbacks: Pickett, Willis, Ritter, Corral, Zappi. Honorable mention, Strong. I would stay away from him though, and I'm completely out on Sam Howell on that. So let me know what y'all think. CJ going with Matt Corral. Okay. Yeah, Matt Corral. I think Matt Corral is like Pickett and Corral, I think have the potential to be legit day one starters in this league for years to come. Malik Willis, I think, is a bloomer that's going to need a year or two on the bench. I think Bailey Zappi could be the late bloomer that comes out of nowhere. We've seen this. I mean, yes, Russell Wilson is a guy. 3rd round quarterback. Nobody expected him to do anything. He wins the starting job in Seattle. We obviously see what happened with him. Aaron Rodgers took a fall. He didn't get paid till like 24, and he's one of the best quarterbacks around. Ben Roethlisberger was from a small school, Miami of Ohio, has a Hall of Fame career. So, CJ says Matt Corral. Brandon said, can we even develop a quarterback? Who was the last quarterback we drafted that turned out good? McNair was definitely good. We drafted him at number 3 from Alcorn. Vince Young, despite what people might think of him, was a good quarterback. He just got in his own head. And Mr. Wrong is right. When Mahomes and Watson got drafted, that wasn't supposed to be a good quarterback class either. But you got Deshaun Watson, you got Pat Mahomes, who the Chiefs traded up to go get. Nobody heard of Patrick Mahomes until the combine, and we see what happened. So, I think I like Ritter as well, but the whole comparison to Tannehill does scare me to death, without a doubt. But those are the quarterbacks that I do like. Again, y'all definitely check out what I think of these guys. Again, I'm not an expert, but I do try my best as far as that, so I appreciate y'all sticking with me. But before we do get out of here tonight, as much as this is going to pain me to say, we saw that Kansas, the Jayhawks, won the national championship on Monday night. Hate that North Carolina didn't win it, but it's like and this is my blue bombshell, this is basically like a knife just being stabbed in my back again, opening up that wound and just turning it. Because Kansas's last national championship was in 2008 against my alma mater, the University of Memphis Tigers. And the Kansas Jayhawks, besides the Kentucky, well, not really Kentucky, I can't stand John Calipari. Coach Cal. I can't stand him. I was extremely happy when Coach Cal lost. But a team that I can't stand is the Kansas Jayhawks. I don't like them, never will like them, because they stole a national championship from Memphis. Now, of course, with the allegation, we would have had to give it back anyway, but we still would have won a national championship nevertheless. So, screw Kansas. Don't like the Jayhawks. Forget them. And Order Struck says, supposedly our brass likes Ritter. Yeah, because they have the most knowledge of him. Mike Vrabel and Luke Fickell, the coach at Cincinnati, they're like this. They're boys. They're best friends. So we have as much intel on Desmond Ritter as anybody. Brandon said, glad Duke lost. I'm not happy about that because I had Duke winning. Now, I was glad North Carolina did get to the title game, but I had Duke winning in my bracket for the sake of that. And Ms. Bim saying, well, why do fans post rumors about trade A.J. Brown? Some people want clickbait. That's basically what it is. You know, some people, they see something and they may say, hey, y'all, are y'all seeing this? Or do you notice this? Or somebody else outside of the Titans organization, they're just trying to get clickbait, even though they don't have nothing to back it up. And so, even though when stuff like that happens, you get people that click on it and then it starts swirling. It's like it's a rumor. It's exactly what it is. A rumor. That doesn't mean there's no truth to it. It could be very true, but it could also be very false. That's why it's called a rumor. But again, if I don't hear it from Ian Rappaport or Diana Rossini, TD, John Glennon, if I don't hear from those guys, I don't believe it. Plain and simple. And when it comes to trading A.J. Brown, laugh at it because it's funny. Because nobody in their right mind knows we're going to trade A.J. Brown. We're not going to trade him. We're not that crazy. Come on. We're not going to do that. Not going to happen. But everybody, I think that's just about going to do it for the show. Again, I say thank you to everybody. I'm almost at 1,200 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to the show, please go ahead and do so. Help me get to 1,200. Also, definitely support the show, Super Chat, or you can Cash App me as well. Help me help you keep on bringing out some great content. I have a great guest coming on next week as we talk receivers. So definitely stay tuned for that. And I thank everybody. I appreciate everybody. And thank y'all very much for tuning in to Titans of Truth. I'm your man, Chris, a.k.a. Blue Enforcer. Again, make sure y'all share this show out. And I will see y'all next week. And let's tighten up, because that's all we know how to do. I holla.